It's been a minute since I filmed a video, I know, but what's up? It's Irlane. Today's May 19th, 2021, and I am officially 20 years old today as I sit here and film this video. I am getting ready because later on I'm going to go with my best friend to go out to some Korean barbecue. I'm laying my edge right now. This is a U-part wig, by the way, and I have leave out, so it looks a little funky, but trust me, it's gonna look fine. I got my nails done. I'll show you guys my outfit. It's nothing crazy because I'm eating, so I don't want to wear anything like tight fitting my body. And I got a tattoo. I got it on the 17th, I think. I got it on Monday. Boom, here she is. She is starting to peel. The old skin is starting to peel off, so it looks a little crazy. The only footage and proof I have of me getting it is a clip of me on a FaceTime call with my friend, so I'll put that on the screen. So if you're like, what the hell is on her arm? It's a tattoo. I wanted to start this new chapter of my life, not being a teenager anymore, an adult, if you will, with no fear, no anxiety, no stress, no nothing. So that's why I got that bitch on my arm. And like the arm is like, you know, I don't have muscles, but the arm is like, you know, strength or whatever, so I got it there. I'm actually running a little late, behind schedule. But today's video, I just wanted to sit here, you know, while I get ready for my dinner, just to do my makeup, talk about either why I'm anxious about starting my 20s, or the alternative title for this was why the do my 20s have to be the best years of my life. Everyone, our parents, grandparents, whatever, they always say like teens, 20s are prime time, especially if you want to like go out, have fun, travel, do whatever. As I've grown up, I have realized, especially like last year, like when I first turned 19, I realized that I feel like people put a lot of pressure on age, and they think age is like a timeline to do certain things, be a certain way, and then after you pass that age, like you're done, you just can't do it anymore. And I feel like it's one of the things that made me get very anxious about not only growing up but especially turning 20, because you are no longer a teenager. I'm gonna run my mouth about that. I didn't write a script for this or anything. It's just kind of off the cuff because I've been thinking about it, especially for the past couple days. So let's get started. I have a lot going on right now. My jewelry is from both AliExpress and Louisa, and then I have a name necklace from Sufil Jewelry that I've always talked about. This wig is from AliExpress. I'm gonna just link everything down below if you give a crap about anything that is on me. Oh, and I'm gonna be putting on false lashes. Period. Why do I look so different in the camera and the phone? Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna use a crap ton of foundation. This isn't even really foundation. It is the Morphe 2 skin tint from their like Barely There inspired makeup line. I know black people don't stand Morphe, but this is amazing and I wanted to try it. And this skin tint is like perfect because it's just like very light coverage. Anyways, I was actually talking to my best friend about this a couple days ago when we went out. I was on TikTok and I saw a lot of like high school graduation TikToks, and they were like freaking out or just like making jokes about the fact like, oh, what do I do now that I've graduated high school? And I felt that same feeling a little bit after I graduated, but I feel like it's coming back now, but in a worser form because I'm already, I guess, into the real world since I left high school, but rather just like my maturity level. People think that age correlates to maturity, and that's not the case. I'm always the first type of person to be like, oh, bro, you're 30 years old, why are you doing that? Like, but in actuality, like, of course you're allowed to make mistakes and stuff regardless of your age. I mean, some mistakes are expected from certain age groups while others aren't, but regardless of the fact, we're human and we can make mistakes. But I say all this to say I don't feel mature at all. I think I'm a mature person, but I'm talking in terms of just like the way I think and the way I process things. I'm still very childlike. I was telling my mom this earlier in the car. The only thing I ever had to worry about, any of us had to worry about growing up, you know, you had to focus on school. Obviously, you like your future too, but like the only thing you needed to worry about was school, being a student, being a good student. And people always talk about this, like in school, they don't teach us how to do taxes or do none of that stuff. So even while we're kind of in school preparing ourselves to be adults, we don't really know how to be adults at the end of the day, which is insane. Like all that school and y'all didn't have one class about how to like do actual stuff like file taxes or whatever, because Mr. Intuit TurboTax is somehow setting us up for failure. And because of the fact that I feel like I've never even been exposed to typically, I guess, adult mature things, I still in that sense process a lot of things in my life, in adult related things in general, like a child. Like I don't know a lot of stuff, and I know, I get it, it comes with time. That's my mom said, that's what my best friend said when I talked about it. But it's just like, this is just like the reality of it and what I'm thinking. I get that maturity comes in time, but it's also a fear of the unknown. Until how long is it going to be until I get it? Until how long is it going to be until I understand it? Until how long is it going to be until I kind of just grow into my adult shell? I don't like using the word adult. It's too just like specific, because this applies to really any age group as you age up, especially my other peers. And I know this is just an outside looking in perspective because I don't talk to them. I don't know if they're actually doing good or so sure of themselves. But when I see my peers doing well, not doing well, but just like being so sure of themselves and what they want to do for their future, I have things that I want to do in the future. But specifically for my future, like for a career, I said I'm in political science and I would love to work in like international relations, be a lawyer, communication, something along the lines of that. But in all actuality, that's not the only thing I want to do, and rather because I have multiple things I want to do and it's not just one singular thing, all I could think about is like, you know, even though I want to do other things, can I do other things? Like, am I allowed to? Or do I just have to, you know, focus on the one singular thing? Because even watching my parents, like, they obviously have things they want to do in hobbies that they would like to make into a lifestyle. But at the end of the day, you have to be realistic and think about, you know, this is my life. What is the best path I can take for my life to be the most responsible and secure in anything, my finances, my feelings, whatever. And while my parents do work really hard in the things that they do now, I don't want to be like them in that regard, because like I said, I have a crap ton of things that I want to do as a career, not just solely stay in like political science. Hell, I'm literally doing a YouTube video right now as I'm talking about what I'm studying in college. I don't want to be a YouTuber as my career full time or anything, but it is something I like to do, and it's something I want to make time to do because I like to do it. But if I'm an adult, I can't do that. Or rather, that just goes back to me feeling like I think in a very childlike manner, because people like kids do whatever they want because they're kids. They're learning, they're growing, exploring, figuring out what they like, figuring out what they don't like. And I'm obviously well into the years where I figure that out. But you know, eventually it's always, you know, so what's your major in college? What college are you going to go to? What do you want to do as a career? Like, those questions come up and, you know, things get serious. People look at you a little bit crazy if you have, say, an undecided major or something like that. Like, it's just like, I don't like it. And I get that a lot of time it's just coming from a place of worry. Like, they want you to do good and have an idea of what you want to do, so you're not just stuck floating aimlessly without an idea of what you want to do. But in reality, I just feel like I said earlier, that people put way too much of a timeline on the things you have to do at a certain age. And once you turn 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, they just expect you to have it all figured out. And I don't have it all figured out. And that's why I'm sitting here making this video. Like I said, I have a general idea of things that I want to do, things that I like, but rather I don't know the process of getting there in general. The fear of the unknown, the anxiousness, worrying about failing, if you're going to succeed, if you're going to make money, if you're going to be able to support yourself, if we're going to take you seriously, how long is it going to take? Besides my own personal feelings, one of the things that actually sparked this video idea was a tweet I saw on Twitter. She was on a boat or something, I don't even know. And the caption, "This is what your 20s are for," because she was just, you know, laxing out on the boat, which is fine. But a lot of people were coming at her like, you know, your 20s shouldn't have to always be about travel or whatever. You can travel and do fun things, whatever you want at any age. Not everything has to be confined to your 20s. And she tweeted back in response being like, obviously I think that, but it's just a tweet, you know, type thing, like y'all are reading too much into it. But even though we all acknowledge the fact that we obviously don't have to do everything during our 20s, it's just the fact that we've been conditioned to think this way for a long time. We always had to focus on school because at the end of the day, we want to be successful. Going to school means you get to go to a good college. Getting an education will help prepare you for a career that will in turn help you make a lot of money, thus making the crap ton of school and focusing on being a good student and stress worth it. And then usually after people finish school, they travel, they do whatever, all that other stuff. But again, because of this like somehow magical timeline that we're supposed to follow, it feels like everything is like crunch time. You don't even have time to really, one, enjoy yourself, or rather the only time you think you can enjoy yourself is your 20s. Because when you're 30, you just somehow magically can no longer have fun and you have to be a real adult, start a family, do whatever, all this other stuff. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to have fun. Obviously be responsible and like grow a stable career and all this other stuff. Like, but at the same time, I also want to have fun in that, you know, childlike manner. Like I said earlier, it's insane watching my sister just kind of live her life, because I can't even remember the last time I peacefully did that without any worry. Because even when you do go on vacation, say as an adult, the thing you're always like is like, oh, when I get back, I'm gonna have to just go back to normal. Even on vacation, vacation. You still have to think about responsibility, and I hate that. And that is why I say I feel very childlike in the way that I think about things and think about life, because I understand, you know, life happens, you gotta do things, you gotta be responsible, you gotta go to work and all that other stuff. Like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't want to be so in my head about possibly acting too immature and not acting like my age to where I lose sight of my responsibility and I just kind of freak out and have a breakdown about it. Oh my god, this is the first time I've ever like successfully contoured my nose. It looks kind of good. I mean, you guys see it with my channels all the time. I admit I take a lot of very long breaks that I don't really need to be taking, but here we are. And most times those breaks happen sometimes by accident, but other times I genuinely do just want to take a break, you know, because making videos takes a lot of time, YouTube takes a lot of time, so thus you take a break, as one does, to just try and get their mind back together. But as you guys know personally, a lot of times my personal breaks end up going longer than planned because sometimes you just need a little bit more time than you may think, or you get too comfortable with not having to do anything. I fall into these pretty frequent slumps, and I hate that I do. It's never usually related directly to YouTube or school or anything. Obviously I get stressed out with those things sometimes, but most times it's just because my head is somewhere else, or like me trying to deal with something, and like YouTube and school just kind of just adds to like the stress of trying to go and deal with that as well. So I just kind of block everything out. And I'm someone who, when they feel an emotion, I fall into that hole. Like, I amplify it. It's so bad because I can be so positive, but I can also be painfully negative to the point where it's like, are you okay? Like, do you not have a single optimistic thought in your brain? But I try to be as optimistic as possible. I fall deep into my emotions a lot, and again, with the childlike way that I react to things, I'm like a kid. I don't throw tantrums or anything. I fall into these slumps of not wanting to do anything, losing motivation, not wanting to talk to anyone, not wanting to deal with the problem that is making me feel this way head on. And I'm trying to get out of that because I've never been the type to like go to my parents if I had a problem or anything of that sort. They don't really relate to me in the way that I would, you know, like them to. They try, just not hard enough. And it just feels like everything is crashing in on you. It's like teen angst at its finest, but amplified by 20. Feeling like nobody understands you, feeling like the world is ending because this one thing just won't get out of your head. And I see it even with my own parents, especially whether they want to admit it or not. They have times where they literally just shut down, or they have a problem that they need to acknowledge to work through it and like, you know, move forward or whatever, and they just don't let themselves, or they're just like, I don't have time to think about this, I have other things to do. I never wanted to be the person to shy away from my own emotions because it's kind of whack. We all know that suppressing things is never the way to go, and I never wanted to be the person to suppress my feelings. I try to just let it out, whether it be with myself or with someone who I want to confide in. But that just goes back to what I said earlier about people expecting you to be a certain way once you hit a certain age. Like, I don't want someone to look at me and be like, oh my god, she's such an immature 20-year-old, 21-year-old, 22, 23-year-old because she's acting like a kid when I'm, say, doing something, like not being in the mood to do anything, or in having zero motivation in my bones to exist and be a person. Like, I don't understand why there's stigma around people that are not teenagers feeling things and experiencing things just like normal, regular kids would. I'm sitting here editing this video, and for the rest of this entire clip, absolutely no sound. I don't know what happened. I ran the audio through Audacity because I wanted to try out this new method to make my audio better. I don't know what happened. It worked for the other two clips, didn't work for this one. So I just lost a good 13-12 minutes of footage I had to edit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna obviously keep the video quiet, and I'm gonna put some music over it if you want to see what the rest of my makeup looks like. But to sum up what I was saying, I want to have the freedom to be as carefree as a child, but not to be seen as immature. But I also don't want to grow up because I feel like I'll lose that privilege of just being carefree like a child. It's a whole complicated thing. But long story short, like I said in the video, I know that this type of maturity and growing up will come in time. I'm just a little fearful of it. It makes me uncomfortable, blah blah blah. Anyway, back to the makeup. Please enjoy the rest of the video, even though this bitch didn't want to work properly. Thank you. My did finish the makeup. This is what it looks like. It's literally any other makeup look I've ever done. The only difference is that I put false lashes on. My outfit, you can't see it, but it's just a H&M basics tight bodycon dress with this thing y'all seen me wear before in another video. I like tucked it in, and I'm wearing these boots from Shein, and the socks are also from Shein. And if I vlog later on, next time you'll see me, we'll be eating. Hello, it's voiceover Irlane, currently editing this video basically for the rest of the night until about 11:30 midnight. Just stuffed our face with food. I'm so extremely sorry for the very clapped ending of this video, but I do want to say one more time, if any of you sent me a message, email, whatever, saying happy birthday, I really freaking appreciate it. I actually had such a good birthday, especially compared to my 19th. And if anything that I said in this video resonated with you, if you feel the same way, because I know I'm probably not alone in feeling this, just know, again, you're not alone, and we're gonna get through this, so don't trip out too much. If you're new to my channel, if you enjoyed this video, and if you like what you see, then please feel free to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, because I would really appreciate it. My name is Irlane Sincere, of course, if you couldn't tell by the video. I'm 20 years old. I am currently in Atlanta, Georgia, and I would really appreciate it, because those are just cute little small acts of support. As always, I love you guys so freaking much. Thank you always for the constant love, support, the patience, goddamn, because I'd be mad inactive. Speaking of inactive, if you want to follow me on my social medias, they're in the description below. And of course, I will see you when I see you in my next video. Peace out.